difficult economic times, consumers cut back and car buyers often turn to smaller cars to save money. There's now a huge selection of compacts on the market. Besides two new models, the Golf 6 and the Renault Mégane, the BMW 1 Series and the spacious and practical Peugeot 308 are also popular options. Our test candidates prove that a small silhouette doesn't necessarily mean less pep under the hood. Let's start with the 308. It's not cheap. Buyers will have to come up with €25,750 for the 5-door version with 175 horsepower, which is only available in the high-end Platinum configuration. The high body and huge front grille are striking. Inside, there's plenty of space, and the middle console has many small buttons that unfortunately are not easy to operate. The 308 boasts high-quality materials, but they're no match for our first newcomer. Volkswagen is promoting the quality of its 6th-generation Golf, and it has good reason to do so. It boasts a much classier cabin, and the quality of materials has been improved, making it the best Golf interior ever. It features plenty of plush upholstery, as well as aluminium levers and switches. The middle console's touchscreen is as easy to use as an ATM, but the improved Golf doesn't come cheap. The 160 horsepower 5-door version starts at just over €25,000, but that includes a double-clutch automated gearbox called DSG. The BMW 1 Series simply doesn't want to fit into the compact segment. The rear-wheel drive and longitudinally mounted engine make it less roomy. Other manufacturers have touted spacious cabins as a key incentive for buyers in this segment. The smallest BMW is also efficient with resources. Despite displaying excellent performance in our test, it's very economical. Although the interior is cramped, the cabin is sleek. The controls are user-friendly, but the BMW fails to match the excellence achieved by Golf, and the Bavarian car is the most expensive, with a base sticker price of just under €27,000. The new Renault Mégane is the latest entrant in this segment. There are just 2 gasoline-powered models. Anyone looking for at least 130 horsepower will have to choose the diesel version. They certainly won't regret their decision, as we'll see later. The new Renault stands out with its relatively low base price of €21,650, which is considerably less than its rivals. The Mégane scores points for its solid workmanship and well-arranged instruments, but the unusual design takes some getting used to. Then again, that's a matter of taste. The diesel makes it clear that it's far from losing popularity. It emits just 135 grams of CO2 per kilometre, making it more environmentally friendly than all of its competitors. And it's the most fuel efficient as well, consuming just 5.1 litres per 100 kilometres. Besides the engine, the 6-speed gearbox also impresses. Precise steering and suspension allow the new Renault Mégane to hug the road. It's more stable than the Peugeot. Through the cones, the Mégane fishtails only slightly when the stability control is switched off. Overall, the new Renault deserves a lot of praise. In this case, we can easily do without additional power. Once on the road, you'll quickly forget the BMW's lack of space. The 4-cylinder 2-litre is a pure driving machine. The suspension is tight but not too hard. The 120i's driving dynamics are its greatest strength. The engine reaches peak performance at 6,700 RPM. Our Golf is equipped with a variable damper system. The engine and transmission are a tour de force. Thanks to a turbocharger, compressor and direct fuel injection, the tiny 1.4-litre VW generates an impressive 160 horsepower. The double-clutch gearbox shifts more swiftly and more precisely than most conventional automatic transmissions. Although the price tag exceeds €25,000, the Golf boasts state-of-the-art automotive technology. And it's noticeable in the slalom course, where the Golf's driving dynamics shine. The Peugeot's 1.6-litre motor packs 175 horses, making it the most powerful in our test. Unfortunately, the high performance appears to be too much for the suspension and steering. The suspension is especially unstable in off-road driving and on bumpy roads. The steering's not very responsive, but on a more positive note, the 308 hugs the road even without stability control. To sum things up, the 6th generation Golf clearly outperforms its rivals, followed by the Mégane, which offers excellent value for money. But that's where the BMW 1 Series loses points. The 308 is quite spacious, but Peugeot will have to make efforts to improve the car's workmanship. This autumn, BMW is set to expand its fleet of models with a new 5 Series sedan. Currently, it's just a concept car, the Gran Turismo, which is 5 meters long and boasts a spacious interior, which is a cross between a sedan, station wagon and an SUV. BMW hopes what it dubs a progressive activity sedan will create an entirely new market segment that combines luxury and functionality. The open-top two-seater from Mazda has been given a new look, but the designers were very careful with the changes to the third-generation MX5. Only the side skirts and rocker rails are new. There are some slight changes under the hood as well. The 1.8 and 2-litre engines burn less fuel. In Germany, the new MX5 can be had for as little as €22,000. The world's fastest Porsches are produced by the German tuning company Ruf, which specializes in upgrading the 911. The customizer's latest flagship is the Ruf CTR3. Behind the wheel of the 700 horsepower car that achieves a top speed of 375 kilometers per hour is the head of the company, Alois Ruf. He says a car doesn't necessarily have to be fast, but it has to improve your quality of life.
Die Lebensqualität erhöhen.
The Kevlar carbon and aluminium racer is produced at the family-run firm in the southern Bavarian town of Pfaffenhausen. The front end is based on the 911 and the back was reworked with a birdcage frame made of aluminium. 4 decades of experience have gone into the CTR3. He says it's the car that most represents Ruf's identity. The vehicle still has Porsche DNA to the core, but he says it was his dream to build a mid-engine super sports car that combines the components and functionality of a 911.
Bauteilen und mit der Funktionalität des 911ers kombiniert wird.
The Ruf name is intrinsically linked with the 911. Porsche enthusiasts around the world bring their cars to Pfaffenhausen to have them tuned or serviced by the experts. He says he spent 45 years of his life with the 911. He remembers when the 901, which is what it was originally called, was introduced. He says it was a key experience hearing the roar of the motor. It really made an impression, and ever since he's been hooked. He says he could only try to make the best of it. Back in the 60s, Ruf began tinkering on the 911 in his father's garage to make it even faster. In the 70s, the Bavarian customizer became an insider tip for Porsche lovers from all over Germany. After being tuned by Ruf, the 911's horsepower increased from 180 to 217. It was a period when Porsche didn't offer so much for the 911 from the assembly line, he says, because the company planned to replace it with the 928, an 8-cylinder sports car. Many Porsche enthusiasts drove their cars to Pfaffenhausen and asked if he could somehow preserve their 911s. He says they would tell him they wanted to have a new one in 2 years and asked if they could buy the parts to put one together again. With the spare parts collected over the past decades, Ruf now restores old Porsches from all over the globe, especially from the Arab world. Last year, he opened a branch in Bahrain. In 1987, the Porsche CTR laid the foundation of the company's international recognition. The concept was further developed in the CTR2 and now the top model, the CTR3. He says he appreciates it when he's driving and the car fits like a pair of jeans. It's necessary to have this connection with the vehicle via the wheel. He says it has to feel like a glove that fits perfectly when you're on the road.
Sie müssen das Gefühl haben, dass Sie in einen perfekt sitzenden Handschuh reinschlüpfen und mit dem jetzt unterwegs sind.
The most important principle for Ruf's philosophy of driving is to produce his own engines. For the CTR3, a 6-cylinder boxer motor is turned into one with a 3.8-litre displacement. 2 turbochargers help boost horsepower to a mind-numbing 700 ponies. They changed the crankshaft, he tells us, the connecting rods, and use titanium rods. They also replaced the cylinder liners, pistons, camshafts, cylinder heads and combustion chambers. He says it's still a 911 engine, but all the details have been modified. And the company has also refined the car's aerodynamics. A typical feature of the Ruf Porsche is the funnel-shaped opening directly in front of the air cooler. He says it's very important to the company that all changes made to the car are in line with the vehicle's original DNA.
Dass sie im Einklang sind mit der ursprünglichen DNA dieses Fahrzeugs.
The Ruf company wants to remain faithful to the Porsche 911 as long as it exists. He says they'll continue to build it as long as there are cars on the road. His tuning company has even developed an electric-powered 911 that generates 204 horsepower and can sprint from 0 to 100 km per hour in just 7 seconds. It reaches a top speed of 225 and the battery's driving range is between 250 and 320 kilometers, depending on how the car's driven. In the future, he says the company will continue to do what it has done in the past few decades, building cars with emotion. And he adds that will include producing a car with emotion, but without emissions. Those who know Alois Ruf believe that sooner or later, the electric Porsches will be just as fast as the other cars built by the tuning specialist.